Welcome to Guns and Gear Network, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. Today we're going to look at communication setup for a Humvee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. So today we're going to take a look at my communication setup for a Humvee. Now, everybody's a little different in what they want and their approach to communications. So some people want to be 100% military correct. Some people want modern day, a little more convenient radio systems and things like that. So I actually opted for both. And the reason I did that is I wanted it to represent what the military had in it originally, and then some modern conveniences of different radios such as a CB or like a ham radio type setup. So with that, the Humvee in general causes some problems because of it being a 24-volt system. But I'm going to show you what I have set up here, and hopefully it'll give you some ideas of what may work for you, and if you're thinking about adding communications to yours. So I'm going to take this camera off the tripod, kind of show you around. It's going to be a little shaky at times. I do apologize. So let's take a look. First I'm going to show you the antennas. If you look right here, I have a CB radio antenna, and that is on a mirror mount. Show you the mirror mount. And the reason that is a fire stick. That is a tunable tip fire stick. If you look over here, I have a UHF VHF tram antenna on this other mirror. And then I have traditional whip antennas that is used traditionally in the military. A lot of people see these type setups on Humvees. And the reason is because I am running an RT524, and over there is an R442. So the RT524 is period correct to this particular year model. This is an 88 model. This would be the radio that would normally be in one of the Humvees. The RT524, the RT meaning receive and transmit. The R442 is to receive only. And the reason the military set it up this way was because they wanted a system where they could receive and transmit on one channel. They could monitor another channel. You have to remember, this predates any kind of scan features or anything like that in modern day radios. So they could listen on one, and then they could receive and transmit on another. So another channel. So they could monitor one channel and talk on another. So the other thing that you may see on Humvees and other military vehicles is an intercom system. All military vehicles are pretty loud, whether it be just the diesel engine, just the construction of them, they're pretty loud, and you need to be able to communicate with your crew. So I have what is called a VIC-1. This is the earlier, they have a VIC-3 now and so forth, so there is some new versions, but this is period correct to this particular Humvee. So with this setup, you have a master control box, which is the big one. Then you have individual small boxes, which is for each crew member. Then you have headsets for each crew member. This can also be tied into your radio system. So not only can you communicate amongst yourselves, you can also communicate and listen to the radios that you have installed. If you look down here, there's a speaker, because the R442 does not have an internal speaker built in. The RT524 does. See the little speaker there? So down here at the bottom, I have a speaker mounted for it. Alright, so that kind of gives you an overview of the military setup. Now, there's limited information about the military setup out there. You do have to look for it. There is some TMs or training manuals that'll give you a lot of good information, but you just kind of got to research what works, what doesn't. A lot of people do display units. They don't the function. Some people do full-blown setups that are ready to go. You know, they work correctly and all that. So kind of up to you what you want to choose in that regard. They're kind of hard to find, and they can be very pricey if you can find them, whether it be working or non-working, to be honest with you. So that's kind of up to you if you want to go through that expense. All right, so let's discuss a little bit about modern day radios. I mentioned earlier that I had this antenna, and the reason I went with mirror mount antennas is because I didn't want to add more rear antennas to take away from the look. Sorry about that. That's my neighbor with his obnoxious car, so I apologize. I didn't want to take away from the military look. I wanted to kind of keep it as clean and military looking as possible. So the best way I felt to do that was a short, this is the 2-footer, I think, fire stick, and President radio. So if you look here, that is my President Johnny 2, and that is a 24 volt setup. So it's a 12 or 24 volt. President Radio has been real good to the channel. I will do a separate review totally of the 12-24 volt Johnny 2. They make a couple different versions of a 24 volt. So this is literally plug and play for you guys that don't want to mess around with altering a 12 volt conversion type setup. I wanted to keep the military 24 volt, and the way to do that was use one of these President Johnny 3s. This is Johnny 3. I'm sorry, not Johnny 2. So this one, like I said, works on 24 volt. It's pretty simplistic. I liked it because it had a black face. It's just kind of plain. Doesn't stand out with like a modern day chrome or anything like that. And I've also got it hooked up. Remember, I told you these vehicles are loud, so I've got it hooked up. If you look up here, right there, I have an external speaker that I've painted cart green and just ran the wire down through here down to my CB. So this CB is capable of PA or public address system and or external speaker. And so I was able to add the external speaker. It's very loud in here. I'll turn it on, see if anything's on here. Unless Skip's rolling in, probably not gonna hear anything. Let's turn it. Yeah, I don't, Skip's not rolling in, so you're not going to hear a whole lot where I'm at. But like I said, President radios have been excellent. I've had them in all kinds of my rigs. I've got one in my personal truck. Just been excellent to the channel. I can't say enough good things about President Radio as a whole. So on to more communications. I do have a cell phone mount up here with a cord for charging, and I'll discuss that here when I get to the other side of the vehicle. But again, a few modern day features thrown in. Overall communications, where I've got my CB, I've just added the mount right here. These are here called hangers, microphone hangers, and that is your military mic there going to the RT524, and then there's that. So you will also notice I have a walkie-talkie. So this is a UHF VHF. So I've got this with MERS. I've got it with your basic FRS, GMRS type channels. I've got some emergency channels programmed in, and I've taken one of these military hangers and just flipped it upside down, and it actually works perfect to put this in. It actually locks into place and it will not go anywhere. With that said, remember I showed you the antenna on the outside going for the UHF VHF setup, and what I've added a cable that I can attach right there. Take this antenna off, add this one, and this goes up to a little better antenna that's mounted on the mirror. So you can do that if you wanted to. I did not want to, and I may wind up with another hard mount type setup, but this right here serves a pretty good purpose. Does pretty decent, but if I wanted to like put a actual ham radio in here, I need to see if there's a 24-volt version that I could utilize. If somebody does have a hard mount ham radio setup, UHF, VHF type setup that's 24 volt, please put that in the comments. That'll be helpful to me and maybe other people too. But I may wind up doing a hard mount at a later date. So let's swing around to the other side, take a look what I got going on over here. Alright, you see this ram style mount and a pad. This seat over here is also called the commander seat. So because these things are loud and a lot going on, and you want to kind of pay attention, because they don't have really any safety features other than seat belts. So they don't have anti-lock brakes, they don't have any type of rollover type stuff, or anti-sway bars and all this other stuff. So you got to pay attention when you're on the road with these things. Just a safety thing. So the commander, which would be my son in this particular case, we can pull up a GPS map and get directions where to go, and I don't have to watch my phone or try listening to it. He actually can give me the directions through the headphones of where we're going or where we need to go, or if I need him to look up something, we can look it up here on this. So I mentioned the phone, and one way to charge that is this, and I did a video about it, and it is one of these here that plugs into your slave cable unit area right here. That converts your 24 volt to 12 volt, and then you can run things like an iPad, your cell phone, if you had it mounted over there, if you need to charge it or anything like that. I'll show you my VIC setup on this side. Now keep in mind, they make a bracket that fits here. I opted not to do that because I had other things going on and that I didn't want to change. So I opted just to bolt it directly. This is plywood, this is factory, the way some of them come. A lot of times you'll see these, this is missing. Mine actually had it when I bought it. So it makes it nice to just screw in things you need right there. So again, master control unit, and this right here would be the crew station for the passenger side. And then you have the crew station back here for a rear passenger. And I'll show you these hangers I made for these headsets. So it's nothing more than a green carabiner. They're plastic. So I wanted less rattle or whatever. So plastic obviously will keep that from happening. And then I bought these Velcro fasteners. They got the little loop that you just run through something like this bar here and Velcro it on, and then it holds those, and I can snap the headsets in and out pretty simple. So the VIC 4-man setup I got from Damage Control Customs. You can go over and check Ruben's website out, and also check his YouTube page. He does a lot of cool things with the Humvees. So give you a better look at the radio setup, the military R442, R524. So crew station, or headsets for each crew, crew stations in each corner. But just to kind of give you an overview of my setup for communications in a Humvee. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of what you might want to do or not do. And I'm going to do an actual video kind of doing a talk about the whole project and what I've done to the Humvee so far, and that'll be here coming up shortly in another video. But I did want to share specifically the communication side of it, and like I said, I cannot say enough good things about President Radio. So if you are looking for a 24 volt solution to your Humvee, you're showing you the antennas again, then I would highly recommend President Radio. I want to thank them. They did sponsor this radio for the build, and want to thank them for doing that. And like I said, I will be doing another video for them about this particular radio. But anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. If you got any questions, post those below. And if you got any comments or suggestions or anything like that, please share that. And as always, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Bring another video shortly. Have a great day.